This is the first and only time you will ever hear me speak about this topic. I separately just got really hooked on Coke when it comes to like the talk of marriage. Some days I'm like, yes, I really want to, and then other days I'm like, that situation no longer serves a purpose in my life. I just invested all of my time, my effort, my love into you. What did I invest into me?
Tell me what you see in me. Gotta be something different. You must be made for me. Patience is everything.
Hey everyone, it's Chandler Alexis and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd do a video that I've definitely been avoiding. I don't know why, but no, I do know why. We're gonna do a Q&A of questions I've been avoiding, and the reason I've been avoiding these answers is because I feel like I've kind of built up a wall as far as like my real personal life. Like I feel like with vlogging, it comes with a lot of people's judgment, people's opinions on like what I'm doing in my life or how I should be doing certain things in my life, especially being a mom. I feel like especially in my past when I would do things, people would just have like so much to say about it. And so I feel like with my personal life, like the real like sensitive topics, I just choose to not talk about it. That way I don't have to hear anyone's opinions, because at the end of the day, I want to live my life the way I want to live it. And if I make mistakes along the way, then I'll learn from them, but at least I'll have no one else to blame for making those mistakes other than myself. And that's how I've just been living my life. So yeah, I've been avoiding a bunch of your questions, but today we're no longer avoiding them. I'm gonna answer them as best as I can, okay? I'm still not gonna give away too much, but we'll try to answer some of them. I have y'all's questions screenshotted from Instagram, and some of these are like lightweight questions, but we'll get into it. This first question says, what routine have you added to your life to improve your lifestyle? I feel like the main difference in my routine lately, which was not added by choice but rather than by force, is that I now wake up at 7 in the morning every morning. When I tried like elevating my life on my own, my like goal was to wake up at 9 a.m, 10 the latest, because prior to that I was waking up around like 11, 12ish. But now since Crew's in school, I now have to wake up at 7 a.m. every single morning to take him to school. So I mean, I'm not complaining though, because honestly I feel like it's made a drastic change in my life. I feel like I get a lot more work done. I feel a lot happier. I feel more motivated. So I think it's been a positive change, but that's definitely been a main change in my routine. Do you miss your life back in LA, i.e. brand parties, friends, stereotype, influencer life, etc.? Yes. Yes, I do. I feel like when I first moved here, I missed it so much, and it was kind of like something I questioned and was like, you know, is this really the right place I should be at? Do I need to move back home? Because I feel like brand parties and like working with brands in person, like going to places in LA, like that's a huge part of like what I built my channel on when it was like vlogging and stuff. Like y'all would watch me go to like dance classes, y'all would watch me go to events, y'all would watch me do all kinds of like crazy once-in-a-lifetime experience type of things. Now that I'm in the little city that I live in the UK, like there's not as many opportunities to do that. However, I don't feel like it's been a huge detriment in my life. Like honestly, I'm a mom now, and not to say that being a mom would have stopped all of that from happening, but I think naturally I would have just chosen not to go to as many of those type of things, like the events and the parties, because I want to be with my son. I want to spend time with my son. And so in that point of view, I don't really feel like I'm missing out on much. I mean, it definitely gets like boring sometimes out here when there's not like any events going on for a few months, but honestly, I just love spending time with my family, and I feel like I'm the vibe. I can make anywhere fun, so I'm okay. But yes, I do miss it. And then as far as my friends, yes, I miss my friends so much. I haven't really built like a circle here in the UK for the same reason that I didn't build one when I was living in London, because like in London y'all would see me like be friends with girls here and there, and then they would just disappear out of my vlogs, and it was because those girls were so fake. Like the girls that were in my vlogs when I used to live in London were so fake. Like if you haven't seen them in a vlog since then, no, they're fake. So I'm not speaking about friends like Nella, like, you know, y'all have seen Nella. I'm still friends with Nella. I'm talking about them other girls. They were so fake. They were only using me. These girls would literally ask me like, can you post me on your story? And I'd be like, why? And they'd be like, oh, well, I'm just trying to grow my following. Okay, but that's not my job to do for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how fake they were. And that's when I would notice, like, they're literally only hanging out with me for the benefits of hanging out with me, not because they're my actual friends. So that kind of put like a sour taste in my mouth. And that's like part of the reason why I left London. I felt like the people there just weren't as genuine as the bonds and friendships that I had built back home. And so yes, once again, moving back to the UK, I think I've kind of stuck in like my bubble and my safe space being Adam and crew. And then I do have a few friends out here that I stick to, but like there's been times even like now that I've tried to be friends with certain girls and they're just shady as fuck. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just being honest and true. Like, they're not, like, loyalty just really isn't a big thing from the experiences I've had with certain girls out here. Like, whereas I feel like loyalty in LA is like everything. You ride on loyalty, do you know what I mean? And that's how I am as a friend. Like, if you're my friend, I'm sticking beside you and I'm gonna have your back. Out here, it's like every man for themselves, and I don't rock that way. So I find it easier to just stick to myself. Demi is like the one person that I'm like, yeah, she's my type of girl, but she's also not from the UK. She's actually from Ireland. So it makes sense that she's a lot different than most people I come across out here. But yeah, other than her, like, I just try to keep my distance. Like, I have like acquaintances, I would say. So like if you've seen other people, they're like acquaintances, but I wouldn't consider them like my friends. Do you know what I mean? So with that being said, I definitely do miss my genuine hometown friends from back home that I've known for years. Like, I speak to them very often. We actually have 2 group chats where we speak all the time. So y'all might be seeing more of them very soon. But yeah, that was a long answer. Yes, I miss my friends. Okay, this next question kind of goes in line with like me missing my friends. It says, are you gonna go to the States anytime soon? As of right now, I don't have any plans to go to the States, but I'm hoping that the schedule will align, that I will be able to go back home for Christmas this year and maybe spend Christmas with my family. I definitely like miss my friends, my family so much, and I would love to see them, especially because it's been over like 1.5 years with my whole like visa issue that I had. But now that everything is like sorted, I definitely do want to go home. It's just not set in stone when that will happen. What are some of your bad habits that you've quit? Oh my gosh, I have to mention this bad habit because y'all were like encouraging it, and that is not good. I told y'all I was addicted to drinking Coke, okay? So I was drinking Coke every single day. It was a bad habit, especially because I've not really ever been like a soda girl. Growing up, my mom didn't really give us soda. She only gave us like juice and water. So as I got older, like, I still wasn't as addicted or crazy about sodas. But then I guess when I moved here, I don't know, me and Adam would just like drink sodas here and there, and then eventually it got like addicting, and he doesn't drink soda like that either. So I don't know where the addiction came from or stemmed from, but we both got really addicted to drinking soda, Coke to be specific. And then I separately just got really hooked on Coke the soda. And so yeah, Adam's sister ended up recommending me to drink Diet Coke because she was like, oh, it has 0 sugar, 0 calories. So I started drinking Diet Coke and I got hooked on Diet Coke. And then my mom came and my mom was like, that's so bad for you. It's so unhealthy. And I knew it was, but it was just like such a bad addiction. And then y'all started commenting like, oh, you should try Coke Zero because it tastes just like the normal Coke, but it has no sugar, no calories. And I did notice a big difference between Coke and Diet Coke. So I was like, okay, let me try the Coke Zero. Mind you, I'm already addicted to the Diet Coke, But let me try the Coke Zero, see what y'all are talking about. Why did y'all get me addicted to Coke Zero? Everywhere I go, can I have a Coke Zero? Can I have a Coke Zero? Y'all, I had to let go of the addiction because one night I wanted a Coke Zero and I went to the gas station and they had none. And I was just like, oh, the other Cokes just don't taste right to me anymore. And I was willing to drive 30 minutes away to a store that was open just to see if they had Coke Zero. And that's when I realized, okay, yeah, this is a problem. There's like 30 other freaking drinks I could get, but I'm dying for a Coke Zero right now. It's a problem. And so I decided to go home and not have anything. And then that's when I realized, like, okay, I really need to like break this bad habit. And so I have. I'm finally off of my Diet Coke, Coke Zero Coke addiction. And I plan on not ever going back to it. Hopefully. I do have a Coke Zero like every once in a while when we're like at a restaurant or something or getting takeout. But at home, there is no Coke Zero in my fridge at the moment, and I'm very proud of myself. How are you, and do you have a time frame on marriage? I'm doing great, thank you for asking. And I do not have a time frame on marriage as of right now. I know that I do want to get married before I'm like 30, and to be honest, I thought I wanted to get married a lot sooner than I feel like I actually do. I feel like I can easily talk about like, oh, I want to get married, like, yes, let's do it. But then when I actually like think down to like how serious a marriage is, I do get a little bit scared. And like, I don't know, I feel like in my past, I was really good at like self-destructing and ruining good things for myself. And I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of seeing the same kind of traits when it comes to like the talk of marriage. Some days I'm like, yes, I really want to. And then other days I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, it's just a huge commitment. And I feel like for so long I took it like very lightly. Now it's something that I really have to like sit with and just know that when the time comes, I'm actually ready to be committed to a long-term relationship. Not saying I would cheat, I'm just saying like be committed to, you know, your marriage. Like you have to be committed to working things out when things get rough, or, you know, committed to what's the word when you guys have to like meet in the middle? Compromise. Commit to compromise. Like a marriage is not something I would easily just walk out of if I'm not having a good day or we're having arguments, you know? So you just have to make sure that when you get married, or at least I have to make sure that when I get married, it's to the right person for the right reasons, and I know it's the right decision for myself and no one else. Are you moving from Bradford again now that Adam went back to his old team? No. And I have not spoken about this. I've already recorded my vlog from last week, which speaks on this, which y'all will see after this video goes up. But I am not moving, and Adam has actually moved out. So there's that. I definitely was planning on like dropping that bomb in that vlog a lot more like casually. Not that it's like something casual you just speak about, but yeah, Adam moved out, so I don't know. That vlog will let y'all know more about it, but in short words, I do not plan on moving just because he switched teams. Where's the first place you want to travel since you got your visa? I'm actually traveling soon. I won't say where because I want that vlog to be like exciting and like, you know, like a little surprise for y'all to see where I'm going. But outside of that trip, I think the next place I would want to travel to is either the south of France or maybe like Thailand. Thailand has been like on my bucket list for the longest, and I feel like it's the next place I need to like complete off that bucket list. Like Thailand and like Bali, or even like Jamaica. All three of those, like I need to go to those ASAP. So I think Thailand though, I've really been stuck on Thailand. I think it's so beautiful and there's so much culture there, and that's like, I'm a big fan of going to places that have a lot of culture, and just being able to experience something different than what I was, you know, raised by, my environment and everything. So yeah, I'd say Thailand for sure. The next question says goals for the rest of the year. my goals. My goals are to just improve work-wise, post more, possibly do Vlogmas this year. I don't think I did it last year if I can remember, but I think I want to do it this year. We'll see. Or I think if I did it last year, it was like 1 week vlogs. I think this year if I did it and committed to it, I'd want to do like the daily vlogs, get back to that. Some other goals I have are to just improve my presence on social media and just be more like hardworking. I also want to travel, and what else? Grow as a person, just become a better person, learn more about myself every day, and do the best I can. Yeah, I think that's all my goals for this year. Do you have social anxiety? Yes, 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 yes. I've spoken about my anxiety a lot on YouTube, so I won't get into it too much right now. But yes, I have social anxiety, all because of YouTube. Literally all because of the career that I chose. I have really bad social anxiety. It's not good. I do feel like it got a little bit better over the last year and a half-ish, but it's still really bad. And I think the only reason it's bad is because I don't really like try to handle it head on, you know? Like I just kind of avoid it. I avoid being out in public by myself, but it's getting better. Would you ever teach crew to speak Spanish? I barely speak Spanish. Don't let me fool y'all. I know my last name is Garcia. I know I can like say a few sentences here and there. I can have like a basic conversation in Spanish, but I do not speak fluent Spanish for me to be teaching anybody. I need somebody to come and teach me Spanish. So no, at the current moment in time, I am not teaching crew Spanish. However, I am teaching him sign language still. I've kind of been teaching crew sign language since he was a baby, and just over the years he's picked up a few more, but I want to heavily get into it this year because I feel like he's really at that age where he's a sponge. He picks up everything, and my sign language is rusty, but it's there. It's very like all I need to do is pick up a sign language book, glance over and be like, okay, I remember this. Or, you know, if I forget a sign, I just look it up, Google it, whatever. But my sign language skills are pretty good, if I'd say so myself. So yeah, we're just working on that. But Spanish, nope. When you get married, would you hyphenate your name or just go with Wilson? So I don't think I would take anyone else's last name. I don't know. I've had this conversation with Adam. You know, whenever we would talk about like marriage and stuff, I don't like my own last name personally. But I also felt like his last name it makes my name sound even like more manlier. Like at least with Chandler Garcia, the kind of have like a feminine sound to it, a feminine ring to it. But Chandler Wilson sounds like a 6'5" basketball player walking down the street. Like, you know, I do not like the sound of it whatsoever. No offense to him, like he knows this. We've had so many conversations. Like it's just not, I already struggle with my first name being a unisex name. Y'all know this. If y'all have stuck around, I feel like maybe I've spoken about it before or not, but even in middle school, like I had a real like identity crisis when it came to my own name, and I went by Alexis for the longest time. Like one of my schools I went to, kids literally only knew me as Alexis. They did not know my name was Chandler. I refused to be called Chandler, and the only reason I ended up going back to Chandler was because there was like 5 other Alexises in my class. It was horrible. I never knew when the teacher was speaking to me or them. It was bad. So then I started to love the fact that my name was unique, but I still struggle with the fact that it's not a very feminine name. And so that's why my YouTube channel name is actually Chandler Alexis. It's not my last name. It's not just Chandler. It's Chandler Alexis for that reason, that people know like, okay, she's a girl. Like, you know, by hearing the name, that sounds like a girl. So yeah, I don't think I would just take on a last name, but maybe hyphenation, maybe. I've also thought about like if I ever were to get married, I don't know if y'all know this, but legally you can actually make up your own last name, like, or you can choose like whatever last name out there you want to be like your new family name. You can do that, and that's something I've been thinking about. Like I think that's something I personally would love to do, find a name that, you know, symbolizes and has meaning to it. like to my family, to then be like, okay, every person in this family is going to have this name moving forward, and start my own legacy. So yeah, that's just been a thought. Let me know what y'all think about that personally in the comments, because I'm actually curious to see what y'all's opinion on that is. Would Adam be okay with Crew calling him dad? Crew already calls him dad. So Crew calls Adam dad, and he calls Caden daddy. And the reason for this being is that when we were in school, like when we put him in school, nursery, they always used to say to him like, oh, your dad is picking you up. And I remember he was very confused about it at first, because he didn't call Adam dad, he just called Adam Adam. And then I explained to him one day like, oh, like that's your stepdad, that's why they keep calling him dad, referring to him as dad. And then Crew was like, well, can I call him dad? And I was like, well, if that's something that you want to do, like, I have no problem with that, but I think maybe you should talk to Adam and see if he's comfortable with that. Like, I think I'm very mature with my conversations when it comes to Crew. And so he totally understood that. He went home that night and he was like, is it okay if I call you dad? And Adam was like, of course. I mean, Adam has raised Crew for more than half his life. He financially, physically, emotionally takes care of Crew. He does everything that a dad does. So I personally have no problem with Crew calling him dad. Crew also calls him Adam. He says both. I think it just depends on the circumstances or the environment that he's in. Like at school, he says, my dad is here. He's here to pick me up. You know, at home, he calls him Adam. So yeah, I'm fine with it. Adam's fine with it. Crew's fine with it. That's definitely something I've never spoken about on my channel, but there you go. This next one says, did you have any other names picked out when you were pregnant? Yes, I had a ton, and the only person whose opinion I really cared about when it came to picking Crew's actual name out, and the only person who like really helped with it, was my mom. And she disliked so many of my name choices, which is why I didn't end up going with any of them. And I'm glad she said something, because now I look back at that list of names and I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, crazy. So for instance, like some of the names that I remember I liked were names like Shadow. I feel like if I type in baby names on my notes, it'll show like the whole list. But yeah, like I had wild names. So if y'all want me to do a video on that, I can definitely do that for you. A few of you asked the same kind of question, which is like, how is co-parenting going? Or like, does Crew have a good relationship with his dad? I get asked this question all the time. Y'all leave comments. I either delete them or ignore them. He will never be a topic of discussion in my videos, ever. I don't ever plan on doing it. I will not ever do it. I have not ever done it, for the simple fact that everything I put out onto the internet, my son will see one day. The good, the bad, the ugly, he will see one day. And that situation no longer serves a purpose in my life other than the fact that he is there for Crew. I feel like in the same type of understanding, it's kind of like speaking about an ex all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, would y'all be in a new relationship but filming videos with your ex or making videos talking about your ex? I understand there's YouTubers out there who do that, but clout is never that serious to me. The money wouldn't even be worth it. It's just not something I need to do, and it's not something I want to do. So yeah, y'all literally can stop asking. I will never discuss it. I will never even discuss what the co-parenting routine looks like, because my routine will never be the same as your routine, so it will not benefit anyone else in any other type of way. I think the most generic thing I could say as far as like advice when it comes to co-parenting is just do what's best for your kid, and that's all I'm doing. I'm doing what's best for my son every single day. I put him first, and yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say on that topic, and this is the first and only time you will ever hear me speak about this topic. Let's continue to move on with our lives and let me grow as a person and be able to actually distance myself from anything that does not benefit me speaking about, respectfully. This last question says, what's your biggest piece of advice for girls in their early 20s? That question just made me realize I'm in my late 20s, because I was like, wait, I'm in my early 20s. How am I gonna give advice to y'all? No, I'm not. I'm in my late 20s. Oh my gosh. Okay, girls in your early 20s, I would say have fun, live life to the fullest, be spontaneous. Like me personally, when I was in my younger 20s, I would get a call at like 3 in the morning to drive 2 hours away to go to a donut shop that was open 24 hours, and I would do it. I would do it. I would miss out on work to go to that one party that I really wanted to go to, or go to a concert, or fly out the country. I would do it. I did not care what the consequences were, because I realized that you only get one chance to live your life, and you better live it the best you can. I didn't want to have any regrets later on in life, and look at me now. I literally don't. I think that the biggest piece of advice I could give to girls in general as well is to literally just live your life for you. Don't live your life for your mom. Don't live your life for your boyfriend. Don't live your life for your kids even. Like, live your life for you, and as long as you're doing that, as long as you're happy, the people around you will be happy. So I think that one took me a while to understand, especially after having crew. I just always kind of put like his needs first, and by his needs, by the way, I'm speaking about like extra things. So maybe I was putting him in like sports, and then going to like, you know, kids play classes every single day of the week, but mentally I was drained, mentally I was tired, mentally I could not keep up with this crazy schedule that I wanted him to have. Meanwhile, he's having a blast, sure, but I was going crazy. Then I realized, you know what, he's young, he doesn't need to do all these things at once, or he doesn't need to go to all these places at once. There's enough time in this world for him to experience everything that I want him to experience. I can take my foot off the gas just a little bit and relax and put that time into myself. Like, especially as well as in like relationships, I feel like sometimes I put my all into the other person, and I had to learn that I needed to start putting that time into myself, because time is an investment. When you're investing your time into someone else and later on it doesn't work out down the road, that's a really tough pill to swallow, because you're like, damn, I just invested all of my time, my effort, my love into you. What did I invest into me? And that's like an eye-opening type of realization. Do you know what I mean? So invest your time into you, do what makes you happy, and live your life for yourself, and I promise you, you can't go wrong. But yeah, those are all of my questions that I'll be answering today. If you guys want me to do like a part 2, or you have any questions that maybe I didn't answer in this one, feel free to leave them in the comments, or follow me on Instagram for the next time that I post a little comment Q&A thing on my story. But yeah, I love y'all, hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next vlog, where we talk about where my life is currently at in shambles. No, I'm kidding, but you'll understand a lot more in my next video. I love y'all, I will see you later. I'm Chandler Alexis, and I'm signing out. Bye guys.